name is Rodrigo Quesada. Originally, I studied mechatronics and even worked on embedded systems for a while, but that seemed slow to me. So when I found web development, I've never looked back. I'm also one of the organizers of EventLoop, the biggest JavaScript community in Mexico City. Here, we meet to talk about JavaScript and what it means to be a developer. If any of you would like to come give a talk or just hang out, do find me after this talk. So today, I'm going to tell you about an application we developed in the company I work in that was called Wawa. Wawa consisted of 2 React Native applications powered by machine learning to enact some social change. Wawa means boss in Cuba and other Caribbean countries. So I think that everyone here has had some troubles with traffic throughout their lives. And personally, I don't mind it because I get to sit alone and gather my thoughts. But if my commute was longer than 1 hour, I wouldn't like it as much. For example, I had a coworker back in Mexico City that took 3 hours from his house to his work and then back. So 6 hours each day. You can get a bachelor's with that kind of time. So this application was geared towards those kind of people, the people that are not catered to by traditional companies. So to reach those kinds of people, we must work with the government. So in Mexico, it's hard to work with the government, mostly because there's a lot of predatory vendors that sell fake solutions, and it's hard for startups or private individuals to get involved with them. But at least in my experience, those people, the people that work in the government, are the ones you should be talking to, the people that deal with the problems you want to solve. Because they are the ones that deal with the problem day in and day out. And they have a surprising amount of autonomy on the tools they use to solve those problems. So I think that we should fight against those mechanisms of corruption and take responsibility. So I work for a company called The Tank. The Tank is a 25-people company that does consulting on data science, mostly on retail and finance. At The Tank, I work on the engineering team. And there we try to make those processes more agile. So basically, I do fancy dashboards. We got involved with this project through a government institution called Laboratorio para la Ciudad, Laboratory for the City. Laboratorio para la Ciudad is a government institution that tries to find technological solutions to social problems. And this year, Laboratorio para la Ciudad focused on mobility. But I think that everyone here is familiar with the concept of mobility. Mobility should be understood as a right, the right to transit a territory freely. But most of us see mobility as an obstacle to overcome, to get to our work or to a school. Mobility in Mexico City is complicated because we are 20 million people living in a very small place. So any problem we have looks huge when we see other numbers. For example, some government institutions think that 8 million man-hours are wasted each day, 8 million, on traffic alone. Mexico City has been trying to get into the category of smart city. And what is a smart city? A smart city is a city that collects and uses real-time data to give insights to the government officials on the ground and to the policymakers to make better public policy. And a vital part of that, of being a smart city, is its tight integration with the mass transit system. In Mexico City, we have some options for mass transit, like the underground system or the light bus system, or we got a lot. We also have bikes that are provided by the government. For this project, we focused on the classic bus system. The challenge that Laboratorio para la Ciudad issued was to use the GPS from the buses to better the system. What the machine learning team at Datank did was to first simulate the route. Once we got the simulation of the route, we passed the simulation through a reinforcement learning agent. What the agent did was to optimize the distribution of the buses along the route. To see why that works, we need to see these GIFs. In the first GIF, we see that all the buses go out mostly at the same time, and that leaves a lot of the route unattended. So that's not ideal. On the last GIF, we see the same problem in reverse. The buses take a lot of time to get out of the station, and that also leaves parts of the route unattended. What the model tries to do is to find a sweet spot between the two extremes. And that way, we can better service the entire route. At Datank, the engineering team uses a React-centric stack. Every application we do is either a React single-page application or a Gatsby static site. And everything takes its data from a GraphQL API. And for this Greenfield project, we tried out some new technologies, especially Prisma. Prisma is a GraphQL tool where you only need to define your schema as GraphQL, and it will automatically generate the read, update, delete functionality for you. That also saw great use from the data science team in Datank, because they integrated GraphQL queries and mutations directly into the model. So that validated the use of GraphQL inside the company, because it was not only easy for us, it was also easy for the data science team to get up and running quickly with GraphQL. Another thing that Prisma gave us was the playground. If any of you have used GraphQL, they certainly use Graphical. The playground is a lot like Graphical, but on steroids. So that also saw great use from the data science team inside Datank. They used it on their initial experiments, and also from us, when the government agency in charge of the project wanted to know insights about the operation. So they had a question, and I only had to break out the playground and do some queries, and they got their answer in like 20 minutes. The government agency was static because the people they usually deal with take like a month to give them any information about their operation. So they were like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing great. Another thing that we used on our solution was Kinesis. We had the problem that we have to receive a lot of data from the buses. You can imagine, because we receive data from all the buses from a city of 20 million. So yeah, that's what's a lot of data. So for that, we used Kinesis. Kinesis is a fully managed service for real-time processing of streaming data at any scale. So I copied that from AWS, but what it really is a way for us to just expose an endpoint where the GPS provider can call it at any time they like, with any rate they like, and Kinesis takes that data and processes it and gives it to us in digestible chunks for our application. And it was okay working with Kinesis. The two React Native applications were one for the traffic controllers and one for the users. The traffic controllers are the people that decide when a bus should go out at the station. There are traffic controllers at either side of our route. We didn't want to replace the traffic controllers, but because inside Datank, we believe that the current state of machine learning is not quite ready to take on those kinds of responsibilities, though we think that full automation is the future we're heading towards. We are not quite ready yet. Here we can see the traffic controllers talking to the director of the of all the buses in Mexico City. That was the first time it happened. That's why I wanted to show you this photo. That guy on the suit is the director, and those guys on the, I think you're that way, are the traffic controllers, and they haven't met. They didn't know that each other existed. So through this project, they talk about their common problems, how they can solve it. So only for this, I think that this project was worth it, because we reached the gap between the decision makers and the people that were on the ground trying to solve the problems. So the control application is quite simple. We only give suggestions to the traffic controllers when the bus should go out, and it is jittery because those are buses in a city. So I had to increase the speed for 1,000%, so you can see that they move. And we only give the traffic controllers when should the next bus go out, and we also give real-time locations of each bus. So when we were delivering this application, we interviewed each of the traffic controllers, and some of them told us that they already use some on approved technologies on their day-to-day work. One of the traffic controllers even uses Twitter and Google Maps to know the status of his route. So when we gave this application to him, he was like, "Oh yeah, I can do so much with it." The application for the users is basically the same like the application for the controllers, just that we don't tell the user when a bus shall go out. We just show them the real-time locations of the buses, and you can also go into every one of the stations and see when the next bus will go out. We also use the component pattern in React quite a lot in this project, because we only had to develop everything once, and we just changed the colors for every application. So, and also a shout out to the React Native team, because it was I haven't made any mobile applications before this, and just knowing React Web, I dove in, and I had both applications of running like in a month. So nice work, you guys. Thanks. So a quick recap of the architecture of the solution. First, we got the positions of the buses that go through a Kinesis stream. Then that Kinesis stream feeds into a Prisma server. And that Prisma server does the fan out to all the React Native applications. Working with the government is not, it tests your patience. And because we developed this solution like in 2 months, but like a year in between those 2 months, because we had to wait for some bureaucratic process. We had to get authorization from this guy and authorization from this other guy. But I think that using our hardened skills in development and in machine learning and in everything that went into this application was quite worth it, because most of the time when I'm developing like a dashboard, I don't see like the impact that my code makes. But here I could see it, like, because I could talk with the traffic controllers, and when they told me, no, I use Twitter and I use Google Maps, and I was like, oh, then this application will truly be useful to you. That was like magical. So I think that we as developers have access to a quite effective form of wealth redistribution, open source, because a lot of tech companies give their work for free. Anyone here, I know that could make an application that created social impact with all the tools that these companies give us. So yeah, I think that's important to say. So the current status of the app is this. We are in a closed beta with the user application and with the control application. The closed beta started yesterday, so I don't have any insight to that. But the control application has been on the field for 2 weeks, and we know that they've been using it because every time it goes out, they let us know. Because right now I was checking something with that. Because we have a WhatsApp group with the traffic controllers, and every time they got spotty data servers or our servers goes down or something like that, they let us know. So we know they are using it, because as soon as we got some downtime, they let us know. Here we got a user using the app. Well, at least the guy that told the photo told me that. And here you can see that the traffic controller is using the app, so I'm not lying to you. So yeah. For the future of this application, we are taking the data that we collect from the users anonymously to better train the generative training model. I don't remember the name. And on November the 14th, the mayor of the city is going to announce this application to the public. So if you're in Mexico City, you can use it and shout at me because I don't know how to program. So take this as a call for collaboration, to use your hardened skills to solve any social issue. Because though it's hard to work with the government, it's hard to go against those mechanisms of corruption, but I think that when you are working with the government and you are seeing the impact that your code and your hardened skills have, it gives you a lot of perspective. For example, I was developing the app, and I don't know why I couldn't make Apollo run on my application. So I was like slaving away programming, saying, no, this is not possible. I'm a developer. I need to get this up and running, and I just couldn't. But I thought, does the traffic controller care that it's Apollo and Axios, or does he only want the information to help do his job better? And I thought, yeah, I think he only wants me to give him the app. And he doesn't care about what technology did I use or what tool did I use, or if I use the hottest new trend, or if I use hooks, or if I use something or other. It was like, it gave me a lot of perspective just to give that person that I met face-to-face the thing that he needed. So yeah. If any of you would like to help out with this project, here's the repo. As I said, it's not pretty. I had to deliver, so be mindful when you look at the code. And I hope you had a great first day of ReactConf, and see you around tonight and tomorrow. Thank you.